Just kind of following up Coach Bentley there, just pretty awesome to share an athletic department with people like that. You can tell that he's bringing the optimism this morning, but you can see the disappointment in his voice and how much he cares about those boys and how much he laid into them yesterday and all season. So it's just pretty awesome, humbling to follow him up here, but awesome to share a department with him. And just really proud of his accomplishments. Obviously, we got a huge game at Holmes tonight. Look forward to seeing everybody there. Pumped for women's basketball, huge upset last Saturday, I believe it was. And when you're out on the road, which we have been for the last 15 games, when you're out on the road and you kind of see these accomplishments kind of start flowing in, it's a breath of fresh air, to know that guys are back on the mountain competing, and not only competing but competing for championships and postseason play. So just kind of overall of that 15-game stretch. I know that we've got the North Carolina A&T game to finish up, but since we've left Kentucky, that 15-inning game at Kentucky, I really feel like since we did that, we've been playing pretty well. Friday night, we didn't play real well, and we won, which is, again, kind of like last week, something that we haven't done here for a few years. We haven't been able to kind of sustain that playing bad and still coming out with more runs than the other team at the end of the game. So really proud of our guys for that. Equally as proud for what they did on Saturday, is kind of answering the call on that. And that's been kind of a running theme first two games of the year. I thought we were really emotional at Gardner Webb. We talked about that last week. We called our team on it, and I thought they really responded, kind of coming into that game 3 at Gardner Webb, and then the A&T game that week. Kind of went a different direction at Kentucky, and then kind of coming back to Wake Forest into the weekend at UNCG, a really good baseball program, and then kind of into the midweek against Western, and then the weekend at Charleston Southern. And, regardless of your opponent, when you're on the road for that many days, just the stressors of our guys, right? Our guys have different things going on. We talked about it before we got off the bus. Usually on Sunday night when we get back, we kind of have a team wrap up. Just within the last 3 weeks, right? We've got kids that are dealing with. We've had a kid who had his uncle die. We had a kid who had his grandma die. Had a guy that his best friend died, and all the while they're dealing with academic stressors. They're dealing with athletic stressors, and honestly, I just couldn't be more proud of our guys for being where we are. Would we like to be better than 8-6? Of course we would, but just what our guys have done, a lot like what John Mark said about his guys. They represented this university with class, and they did it really, really well. And just Game 3 may seem like a really insignificant thing at Charleston Southern this weekend, but to get those first 2 games and just to be sitting there, and you've got the weekend. You beat Western in the midweek. You're sitting there, at minimum, you're sitting there at a 3-1 week, which, again, what we've done the last few years, that's a really good week. And to answer the call and just really come out and lay it on the line on Sunday. Win or lose, obviously we're going for that W, the scoreboard's on. But just really proud of our guys for answering the call and how they did it. 4-2 baseball game, men on first and third. 3-2 count, so the guy's moving on the pitch, doubling the gap. We got a tie baseball game, and we get a punch out. Jack secures it behind the plate, and just a lot of small things that happen. Kind of like my post game quote yesterday is just a lot of things that don't show up in the box score. Bailey Welch made a play in the 6th hole in the 3rd inning when they had already scored one that kind of could have snowballed the inning. That ball gets through the infield. They got men on first and third. Next thing you know, they got first and third again, and it's a 2-2 game. And then Drumheller coming up with a big two-run home run in the 5th. But just really proud of our guys and how they went about their business, specifically all 15 games of this road stretch. Again, not finishing that A&T game that we'll finish up on the 17th, but just really proud of our fight this weekend and completing the weekend on Sunday.
Coach, you just touch on pitching a little bit. I think it was 7 runs in the 4 games, and a lot of different ways, whether it was starters doing well or some guys in short relief or long relief, of just kind of the pitching effort you saw in the last week.
Yeah, outstanding, really. I could really easily take 2-3 plays and give you 2 runs on the week. And just plays that might have been called an error that was a hit at an opposing place or what have you. Just couldn't be more proud of the guys coming into the week. You throw a shutout against Western, who every guy in their lineup can leave the yard. Just thought we pitched it really well. Thought we managed the bullpen really well, not overusing anybody kind of going into the weekend. Really good performance by Hooper there. We flipped Hooper to the weekend, so you already go into that Western game knowing that he's going three innings at max because he's coming back on Sunday. So he goes 2 1/3 or 2 innings, whatever he went, and then so to complete your midweek of 7 innings out of the bullpen shutout. And then to go into Friday, Tutt makes it through 4 2/3, has a good game, just a high pitch count, and then just to watch what our bullpen did there. Playing bad on the other side of it defensively, and not doing some offensive things that we're really capable of doing. The resilience for us to finish that game like we did, and then we really pitched well on Saturday and Sunday. Really played good defense on Saturday and Sunday as well. And I think that's the piece for me that I think that just your casual fan that'll walk up and ask how your pitching is this year, is the defensive component is so huge in that. And when we walk out and we throw up a 0 in that error column and make the plays just that we're capable of making, between our game plan and everything else, I think that we're really prepared to have a good pitching staff, a really good pitching staff.
You mentioned the 15 games on the road this week. You have your home opener scheduled for Tuesday, Wednesday tilt against Siena. Just what it'll be like to play in a new look Jim and Betty Smith Stadium.
Yeah, I got a lot of cleaning to do over the next 24 hours, but just really excited. Obviously the new turf, which is kind of gone viral on social media, which we're really proud of. Got a couple of more amenities that we've completed recently, and just really excited to get our guys out there. We got a special event on Wednesday that Kate's been working really hard on with the school day, and gonna have a lot of fans in the stands. But just really excited to get back out there, and more than anything is just the opportunity to compete again with the guys. Is just getting out on that field and getting out of the locker room, getting comfortable, getting to wear white pants for the first time this year. I know the guys are really excited about that, and just getting in our home place that we practice at every day, and just being able to get out there and compete for our fans.
I guess just last one offensively, a guy like Andrew Greckel's come in and getting on base about every game. Just what he's been able to add to the lineup and how it all kind of works together and complements each other.
Yeah, it's so kind of off that comment that I made about Coach Kearns last week and kind of his goal for his players, like that kind of positionless basketball kind of mindset is he's that ultimate guy, right? He can play third base. Honestly, he could play shortstop in a pinch. He thinks he can pitch, but he can't. But he can play center field, right field, left field. He can do a lot of different things, but just his pitch selection, and and I think it's one of those things that in the recruiting process you think you can gauge certain things, but they show up and you realize, man, his strike zone discipline's really, really good. And I think that's the biggest thing that I would say for him is he's just taking really convicted swings on pitches that he should take really convicted swings on, and if they're not there, he's just taking it. But just a guy that you can plug in anywhere on the field that, like you said, is going to get on base at a high percentage. Just a lot of credit to him for kind of buying into what we're asking him to do, because I do feel like we made some changes in the fall that have been really important for him in terms of just his swing. But he's just a really passionate player. When you get a chance, when we get to our home field, and our fans get a chance to get out and see him, really passionate player, really energetic player, plays extremely hard. All our guys play extremely hard, but he's a fun one to watch. He really is, and it's a great compliment to, again, the dialogue for the last 4 years is kind of that left-handed balance in our lineup, and to stick a guy like that in there, not only can he play anywhere on the field, he can hit anywhere in your lineup, and so I think when you've got that, it's a pretty special thing to be able to plug in and day out.